June 4, 2013, presentation over the United States Code, Chapter 7, and this is my summation of Chapter 114, Agriculture Security. This subchapter goes into detail about how there needs to be an established Department of Homeland Security. Within this department, there's going to need to be a director appointed by the Secretary. His or her duties would include coordinating all Homeland Security activities for the department, including integration and the coordination of interagency response plans for those agriculture disease emergencies, agri-terrorist acts, and other threats to agriculture biosecurity. Also, the director would be responsible for acting as the primary liaison on behalf of the department with the other federal departments and agencies to all issues facing agriculture biosecurity. The last responsibility of the director will be to advise the Secretary on policies, regulations, processes, budgets, and actions pertaining to the Homeland Security. And in section 8912, the next step needed for agriculture security is to establish a communication center within the department. This center will be needed to collect and analyze information and prepare for any agricultural disease information, agri-terrorist acts, or any other agriculture biosecurity threat. Once this is done, then the Communications Center will need to coordinate all the required activities between the agencies and offices within the Department of Homeland Security. This new Communications Center should never impede, conflict, or duplicate any communication activities already performed by the Secretary under any provision of the law. This would be put into place to avoid redundance and wasting anybody's time. This proposed Communications Center also has the necessary funds to be carried out for the fiscal years from 2008 through 2012. In our next section, in 8913, they state that there should be put into place advanced training programs and competitive grant assistance and authorization of appropriations. Grant assistant training would include the development and expansion of agriculture biosecurity planning and response for food science professionals and veterinarians. The authorization process for the appropriations to the Secretary is to assess these programs. The Secretary needs to establish a competitive grant and a low-interest loan assistance program to assist states in assessing agricultural diseases and their response capabilities within their states. And to carry out these proposed programs previously described, it's estimated at $25 million for the years from 2008 to 2012. In our next section in this subchapter is 8921, and this subchapter discusses the research and development of agriculture countermeasures. The main concept here is to build another competitive grant program that encourages basic and applied research and the development of qualified agricultural countermeasures. Also under this subchapter, the Secretary will be available to waive requirements to grants on a competitive basis if the Secretary has declared a plant or animal disease emergency given the Plant Protection Act or Animal Health Protection Act. By waiving the grant requirements, there would be rapid development of a qualified agriculture countermeasure as determined by the Secretary. In our final subchapter, or section, of 8922, this goes into detail about the competitive grant programs that will help promote the development of teaching programs in agriculture, veterinary medicine, and those disciplines closely related to the food and agriculture system in hopes of increasing the number of trained experts in agriculture biosecurity. To be eligible for the grants, the entity in question needs to be accredited school of veterinary medicine or college of higher education focused on comparative medicine, veterinary science, or agricultural biosecurity. The Secretary of Homeland Security can show a preference to give grants to these entities based on their ability to increase research capacity in areas of agricultural biosecurity, to increase the number of veterinarians or individuals trained in these agricultural disciplines trained with biosecurity practice areas, and finally to fill critical agricultural biosecurity shortage situations outside of the federal government. The funds given to these grant programs should be used to pay for the acquisition of equipment and other capital costs relating to the expenses of food, agriculture, and veterinary medicine teaching programs and agricultural biosecurity. These funds can be used for costs that will be incurred in the expansion of academic programs offered by the postgraduate training for veterinarians and or the training of veterinary students in areas of specialization or any other areas the Secretary sees appropriate. Although there are some limitations on the grants. These grants cannot be used for the construction, renovation, or rehabilitation of a building or facility. All this, and I hope you have a better understanding of your Chapter 7 U.S. United States Code in the subchapter of 114, Agricultural Biosecurity.